Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dan's Golf World Show. We have officially wrapped up the TGL regular season, heading into the playoffs. We're going to cover that. Also, rumors floating around that Brooks Koepka wants back to the PGA Tour. I don't know. Jake Knapp shoots a 59 but doesn't take the W at the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches, whatever the name was way too long and I'm never going to remember it. And Grant Horvat, Phil Mickelson back out with their latest challenge. We're going to take a look at that and all kinds of other stuff and whatever else Gary makes us talk about right here on the Dan's Golf World Show. Boys, it is a special day today. Everyone is in studio. I feel like a family reunion is here, and we deserve it. We had vacationers. Josh was cruising. Gary was on a skiing golf trip. And Rich, you're not on your monitor. You're back with us again. I love this. I feel the warmth in the air. You guys feeling this, or is it just me?
I feel it coming in the air tonight.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Was that Gizmo talking over there?
That went hard in the paint.
Could be weird. Gary,
Hi.
You're all in one piece.
Yeah.
You survived your big ski trip.
I'm all right.
I did see that there was a little bit of a incident. You fell. You went down. Skis went flying.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
He was, hey, listen, Gary takes his first trip skiing in Colorado and starts hitting black diamonds. I like this guy. You know what I mean? He's not scared.
It was 12,300 feet. So it was like one of the second highest ones in the world. And then like we were talking about, what was it? I forget what the place, Copperhead Mountain is where the highest tee off is. So next time I go back there, I'm going to have to play that,
Make sure you bring your skis.
Yeah.
Either
There's
way.
a big black and blue mark right here. That's for sure.
Wow.
I did greens and blues just fine. Blacks, no good.
Well, we're going to be showing that to everybody on the Patreon. You can tune in and see that.
I shot 300 this weekend.
Wow.
At golf?
Bowling.
Oh,
equally
You-
are
you
impressive.
300 on the
You
golf
both?
course.
Equally
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
No, that actually, in all reality, it's 300. That's awesome.
That's pretty amazing.
Every
That is
shot
really
was
cool.
money, too. It wasn't like I got a couple breaks. It
Nice.
was
You were
one
just
of my
dialed.
Oh, yeah.
Just dial. Josh, when did you start bowling? When did you roll the ball for the first time?
I started bowling when I was 14, but I didn't really start
So
until
last year.
high school.
Last year.
Until high school, so 15.
Wow.
The year after, yeah.
And
So you started like 3 years ago? You've been bowling for like 3 years?
Dude, I'm 26.
It's been like two.
Oh, gotcha.
this guy's getting married. He's going to have 100 kids within I don't know, 20 months.
9 months.
Who knows?
Uh.
Guys, TGL is wrapped. I mean, the regular season. We're going into the semifinals and finals, but we are out of the regular season. No longer is it all fun and games. These guys are getting down to what is going to be deciding the entire season. And I find to be one of the most interesting parts of it is the founders of the league, Tiger Woods and Jupiter Lynx, as well as Rory McIlroy and the Boston Commons are out. They are not going to be playing anymore in this season. A little bit of a surprise. I mean, for me, I would think, listen, if I invented this whole thing and, we're the backing behind this whole brand new golf league, I would think that these guys would get first pick, stack the teams up, and at least be somewhere near the finals. I don't know how that works out.
Of course, I should have guessed
Oh.
that you went to the TGL again.
Of course.
You know it's really shitty that you go every week, but yet you have not taken me with, if I had a nickel for every time Comb over McGee over here goes to Florida, I would pay off the ransom money it probably costed him to kidnap me. It's okay. Once I find one more little microphone, you are going to be screwed. I have an idea. You will never know what it is. Only when it happens.
Well, so Gizmo's plotting.
Is that threatening right there?
Who's comb over McGee? You or me?
I believe he's talking about
Yeah.
this gorgeous part in my hair. He calls it a
Luscious
comb over.
locks.
Don.
Whatever. It's fine. You know what? We don't know what's hiding under that hat either. You probably got a big old bald spot and you're just jealous because you bring up my hair every week.
There's probably a good chance.
I've got a little aggression apparently towards this Gizmo guy. He comes at
Every
me
time
hard.
he talks, I just look at him like,
Yeah. Sorry, Gizmo. You know what? Maybe I'll see. I'll try and get a media pass application. I don't know. Not sure if there's room, but I don't know. Do you guys think it would be safe to bring Gizmo into the media center?
Dear God, don't give him a mic.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, as long as he's sitting there silent like he does 90% of the time, we're good.
It can't be as bad as you though.
Well, I was pretty unhinged this week. Well, in most weeks, pretty much all the time.
Look, listen.
Thank you. We'll get to that. The moment I would be fearing the most, I mean, in these media centers, the way it works is, when the guys are up there, you kind of give a little like high sign that I got a question. And then at some point the mic comes around. If I saw his little porcelain hand go up, I'd be like, no mic, don't do it. We can't trust this guy.
I never noticed the honeycomb. That's cool. Outside of it.
I feel like every time you go, you could notice something new.
Or they added it and you just don't know it. They added it.
It's like, oh yeah, we got honeycomb up now.
Yeah, now it's honeycomb.
We were thinking that we needed that, and so now we added it.
It's like Big Ben putter.
Do they always have ghosts walking around there too? Or
Yeah, mainly. There's a lot of transparent, ghostly people.
It was an image I found online. Okay, jeez.
You just blame Gizmo. He can't stand up for himself,
right?
Unless it's pre-recorded. Either way, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. All right.
Speaking of great questions,
go on.
I love that. I love the question that you asked of Keegan Bradley.
Do we want to go there?
100%.
I mean,
like, can we go there? Like,
we could jump into recap and results, but
right.
I think
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I think Rich is bringing up one of the most important topics.
Yes.
And so last week we talked on the show about the absolute devastation that we felt seeing Keegan Bradley come out onto the field at TGL without a mustache.
It was gone.
And I had asked him about it just a couple weeks before. I had said, Keegan, I said, how does it feel knowing that you have, I forgot what it was, the best facial hair in all of pro golf? And
which that was the week that I was there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was an epic question.
And, he laughed. It was a good thing. Then all of a sudden we look in, a week or two later, it's gone. I don't know if he did that to us specifically.
Well, and it was such a surprise because you didn't know it was gone until he's walking out in the the main show, like when they all walk out together.
There was no prep.
No.
We didn't get even a little
There's no press release.
Something coming out of the media center.
Right?
TGL, you just want to prepare the fans. It's going to be a pretty tough sight.
It was devastating.
And we just had to really take that in real time.
Yeah.
So of course this week back down there, I needed to get an update from Keegan. So Josh, go ahead and roll the clip. This is me asking Keegan about this, and you could see, well, you'll see, but these guys didn't really know where I was going with this question.
Starting off here in the very front, that side.
Obviously, it's been a blast watching you guys. Wish we'd be seeing you a little more in the season, as it continues on. But, one of the most important things that weighed on me last week, I unfortunately wasn't here, but I was tuning in from home. And I was among the countless people that were devastated when we saw you, Keegan, come out without the mustache. And I
didn't know where that was going.
It was a tough blow to all of us fans, but we see it coming back. Can we just get an update? I mean, are we going to have it till the Ryder Cup? Just any updates you got for us on this important topic.
Well, it's very important. That's true. But it's back for now. I played some decent golf with it. I shaved it off and didn't play very well. So it's back, but one bad week, it might be gone again. We'll see.
Did you see Rory's face? He was like this, and then he goes.
Well, but I love the first part where I'm kind of going into this elaborate question and talking about devastated fans. All three of them were just dialed in.
Like
they were like, okay, where's this going?
Yes.
And who is this for? Because I didn't say like, hey, this one's for you, Rory,
right,
or Adam, whatever. And so all three of them, they have to listen because they don't know in the end, is this going to end up being tossed to me?
And Adam's just like, I won the Masters. I got to listen to Dan.
This is what's so funny to me, though. He shows up one week with the stash.
Yeah.
1 week without the stash. But then the next week, he's got the stash like it's never left.
We grow hair like adults.
I would say Keegan Bradley and Gary could probably grow that stash by noon. Powering through it. I don't know.
Should we grow the best stash by next week? Rich, you already got it.
I feel like Gary's stash would look very Super Troopers.
Yes.
Wouldn't it? In the best way possible.
Great. Yes.
Sunglasses
you boys
on.
like Mexico?
Yeah. Yes. Gary, I would be absolutely delighted if you showed up with
I will have a stash next
with a show stash.
You got
Love
it.
All right.
You want a bushy or longer? What we got?
You know what? I'm going to leave that up to your
Very super trooper. That's
Super
what we
trooper.
want. Yeah.
just thick. But I love this. Yeah, Adam Scott here in the end. I mean, look, he's just like, I can't. Rory had a sense of relief.
Yeah,
Once
he did.
The conversation, the question evolved.
Yeah.
It was directed towards Keegan. The weight sort of was lifted off Rory because he was like, oh my God, what is this reporter devastated about that I did?
Can you back up just like about halfway through the question, or is that possible to do that? Because like the look of serious, like right there,
Right, yeah.
right.
He's like
We haven't arrived. We don't know what it is.
And a little more, because when Keegan looks over at Dan, you got all three of them right there. All three of them just staring right at you like,
yeah.
what's going on? What, like, this is going to be.
And then we get the moment where Rory has this like sense of relief.
Yes.
Where he's like, oh, okay, we're having fun here.
Right,
Thank
right.
God. We just lost. We're
Right.
out of the season. We're out of the hole. We're not coming back. And now this guy's devastated about something. What did I do? What did I
they
say?
should just look at you and automatically assume like we're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We're fine.
Well, and then also, how about Keegan is so superstitious?
Yeah.
His golf game is based on whether he has a mustache or not.
It is
Like-
contingent completely
Yes.
on the status of his facial hair.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is a huge deal with some people.
Obviously.
Yeah, very
Obviously.
clearly.
Like, because that's the first thing he said. He's like, because when he shaved it off, remember
Yeah.
he said in the press conference, he's like, yeah, I wasn't doing good at golf, so I shaved it off. And then he's like, then I played even worse, so I put it back on. So like, you know.
So then I was cruising through my feeds this morning. That seems to be a theme of most of the topics that we bring up. But I look, and
Fair.
Zaire Golf had shared a tweet from Nuclear Golf, which a lot of the reporting we share comes from that page. But the particular tweet that they were, or the conversation piece that they were referring to, was the question I asked Max
Oh, for
Homa.
real?
Yeah. And it was about Max Homa getting back on Twitter or not. So if you're on Zaire, you'll see the quote from Nuclear Golf referring to this question that I asked Max Homa here. Go ahead, Josh.
Max, just curious, you're going to have a little bit more free time on your hands now that the season's wrapped up. We're going to see you back on X, those famous tweets of yours, with this little bit extra time you got on your hands.
No, I think that I finally had a come to Jesus moment. That app is
You weren't talking to me, dude.
it's for the sick. I was sick. I'm just trying to get healthy now. No, I have not enjoyed that app. It's not very fun. It's fun to watch our like little highlights or lowlights. And that stuff's fun. The rest of it's probably not great, so I'm gonna stick to TikTok.
Well, we will say you were fun on the app, regardless of
Thank you.
the rest of
Appreciate it.
So apparently the swing roasts, are they gone? We're not going to see the Max Homa famous swing roasting, all those tweets. I mean,
X is the devil, though.
if you go back through his history, I truly believe he is hands down the best Twitter, now X handle of all pro golfers. It's unbelievable. His wit, his comedy, everything about it. He's one of the best. But unfortunately, apparently the rest of the app and the things that go on there have driven him away from it.
Look how you got Tiger looking at you, bro.
I am telling you, these are some of the most fun moments in my
Adult life.
in terms of like
Golf.
reporting on golf, professional golf, all this stuff. I don't know. It's fun. Well, I guess as long as we're going through it, we might as well go through the third one. Because I had a pretty fun question that I was throwing towards Ricky Fowler.
Oh, this is my favorite, actually.
And here's the thing, guys. Every team sort of has a leader, and it's generally the most seasoned golfer or the most well-known golfer, not sort of at the moment, but sort of overall, historically, if you will. And so when I presented this question, I wanted to kind of ask a question to Ricky Fowler as the leader of the team. And I don't know, maybe he disagreed. Maybe it's because Xander won 2 majors last year. I don't know. But you'll see here, and Xander sort of brought it all home for us.
Rick, as the leader of the team here, anything, I mean, listen.
It's 100%.
Am I wrong here,
Yeah.
guys?
We actually call him Big Blank Rick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I texted that clip to Gary, and the part he sent back, or maybe it was your comment on Instagram or something, I don't know. But he pointed out the part where I was like, listen.
He's talking to him like he's talking to me. And then he says that, like, the thank you at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. It occurred to me that I apparently once the microphone gets in front of me in these things, I'm not a reporter asking a question. I somehow go into like show mode where I'm like, listen, guys,
Look, listen, I told you yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like Xander absolutely brought that whole thing home. I feel like whatever I talked to him about after didn't even matter. At that point, I was still just trying to like assemble some sort of a proper question. Like,
thank you.
Yeah. But
that's funny.
That definitely goes into my highlight reel of press conference moments. I mean, Salty Balls still probably reigns supreme.
That's number one.
But Big Blank Rick, that's a pretty legendary moment.
How do the other reporters in the room like feel about your questions?
Here's the thing, I am so dialed. I'm like processing my question, how I want to ask it, and like kind of the whole thing. And particularly at TGL, my desk space, and as Gary and Rich have seen, Josh hasn't yet, is in the front row. So it's like me talking directly with these guys. I don't know what's happening in the room. I don't know what's happening in the rest of the world. Like for that moment, it's like you've got the mic. There's two mics. One mic is whoever's currently asking the question, and then they get the mic in the hands of whoever's going to be next. So I'm just kind of thinking through my question, getting ready, waiting for my moment, waiting for this thing to finish up. Every once in a while, I'll have two questions in my mind teed up, depending on how the last one was left off. And then, I just go for it. So I don't know. I don't know if like the rest of the room, are they rolling their eyes? Are they laughing?
Judging
are they
from like just
irritated?
watching though, I think like he just brings like a funness to it. And like these guys are ultra serious, and it's like Dan is ultra serious, but he has a camaraderie that I think that the pros appreciate, It's kind of fun.
Kind of lightens the air a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun. Like when Min Lee walked in and we're both kind of like, he's like, thanks,
One of my favorite things, because I'm right in the front row, and I appreciate these guys. They take the time. They go along with my ridiculous questions. And as they're walking out, I usually just give like a nice, hey, thanks, guys. And usually it's always random. It's always somebody different. But one of them will always look at me and go, oh, thank you, man. And this week I got Tiger.
Nice.
Yeah. He just looks over and goes, oh, thank you, man. I was like,
Tiger!
This is
let's go, Tiger.
So is that better than a fist bump?
There's no physical contact was made. I do think a fist bump would reign.
I don't know if the camera got it. Gary instantly flipped me off.
Yeah. See if our editors will leave that in. Oh, Josh.
So on a side note,
go ahead.
Max Homa did have a tweet on February 21st.
Oh,
okay. Well, if you look though, and he goes through seasons of it, but like it just became less and less.
Well, I mean, I'm looking on here, and maybe it's not, I mean, the post before that was 2022.
Really?
Maybe he deleted a bunch. I don't know, but it's
maybe
he's an Instagram guy.
Yeah, but generally his
oh wait, no, this tweet's from 2021. Never mind, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at.
I don't know what I'm
Who
looking
knows?
at.
Whatever.
It was a cool tweet though. He's like, I spent over a dozen years trying to get Tiger to give me a high five at Riviera, and today he handed me a trophy. Haha, what a world.
It's kind of a great time.
That's kind of fun.
But.
All right. Well, we could go on and on about TGL, but we got to welcome someone on the show. We got Wes Patterson joining us, World Long Drive, golf business entrepreneur, and of course, friend of mine and new friend of the show. Wes, thanks for coming on and joining us. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, doing great. As you can tell by the background, beautiful Florida, beautiful weather down here in South Florida. I'm excited to be a part of it, boys. Let's do it.
Dude, I tell you what, I flew back yesterday. I was down there. We got to hang out a bunch, do a bunch of cool stuff. We'll get into some of that. But I was getting out of my car last night, grabbing my suitcases and things, and almost slipped and broke my neck because we had some sort of an ice storm, and there is just a sheet of ice covering everything. So as I look at your beautiful South Florida background, it makes me question once again, what the hell am I doing here in the Midwest? And I think I might do a little better down there.
I'll be joining you soon, Wes.
Dude, hey, come on down. That's what I did 7 years ago. I was down here in December, and I called my wife, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Let's move to South Florida. We did 2 months later. So
where'd you move from? Where were you at before then?
Well, we were in St. Louis. My wife's from St. Louis. I grew up in Memphis, but we were at St. Louis at the time, and it was similar weather. Chicago, like 20 degrees, and down here it was 80 degrees in December, and I was just like, what the hell are we doing, Dan? So she found an apartment in like 2 weeks, so kind of had to do it.
Once you sort of open that door, it was easy to find a place. I imagine.
Best decision we ever made. Very blessed to be down here.
I'll tell you what, I've known Wes for quite some time, and I've golfed with him in the past, but we got to play some golf this week. And I will tell you what, guys, it never for a moment ceases to amaze me how far this dude can hit the ball.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how does that feel to watch?
It's unbelievable. There was a point where, we were playing a hole. It was sort of a dogleg right. There was some water. We had some wind in our face. And I was like, oh, that water's easy. Like, I should be able to put it right over it. I hit a great shot. Felt good to me. Wind in our face. I don't even get over this, pond or whatever. Wes steps up and hits. Not only is he past the pond, not only is he past the fairway, he's in the fairway beyond the hole. He hit the ball so far. I'm like, dude, no joke, probably 120 yards past my best hit. Wes, I gotta know, at what point did it occur to you, or did you realize that you could hit the ball a mile?
So I will tell you this. I think my first drive over 300 yards is when I was 10.
Jeez.
So,
wow.
The 10? Old school, remember the very first ping driver, the big ones that are like the 380 cc. I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, first drive probably over 300 is around 10 years old, gambling with my dad and his friends out there. So I've always hit it far. And then decided to make a living doing it a few years back. So it's nice to make a living on one club. I just turned 36 as of today.
Happy birthday!
Well,
I should have shaved. I look a little bit younger when I get shaved, but there.
Yeah, we were just reviewing Keegan Bradley's mustache. I don't know. Is that something you've considered at any point, getting the strong power stash going?
Yeah, my prior life, I was a professional baseball player, and we try everything, especially if you're in a slump down there. So I won't get too far into it, but I've tried everything. Let's just leave it at that.
I told you.
Wes, what's your fastest ball speed, sir?
227.
Oh my God, that's insane.
That was a few years ago.
We had a chance yesterday. Wes and I were doing a little bit of filming in the SoFi Center. That's still getting cut together. It'll probably be out next week. But Wes steps up. I mean, I don't know if you were golfing at all in the morning beforehand, but I didn't see him take any warm-up swings or anything. He steps up. First ball he hits was, in fact, 20 miles an hour faster than any other player of any match on TGL so far. Just first swing of the day.
215.
I mean, Wes, do you wake up warmed up? Does it just run through your veins?
I just roll out of bed 200 ball speed, but yeah, it's catching up to me, man. I had a little coming to Jesus moment this year. I'm like, I actually have to train a little bit harder because the older you get, you start to hurt a little bit more. But yeah, I think we were got up to 215 yesterday in SoFi, Dan.
Just flying, and the sound of it hitting the screen sounded like I don't know, some sort of shotgun going off.
We won't talk about the snap hooks we're hitting. Get more
duck.
Well, so I did hit one ball that had higher ball speed than the yardage it actually went. The snap hook it so far. But we get 5 mulligans in my sport, so that's part of it.
So in your come to Jesus moment and all that, what about fatherhood? You're a dad now.
Yeah.
You're farther along in your career as an athlete. How has that changed things? Changed the dynamics of still pursuing a sport but doing the dad thing?
Yeah, man. It's I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but puts everything in perspective, man. It's like my little girl, I can go out and come dead last in a World Long Drive in, or I could go win the biggest title, and she doesn't care less. She couldn't care less. She is all she cares about now is telling dad no. So she loves it. So it does put it in perspective, but also I love how it you're strategic with your time now. And a lot of times when you're younger, trying to get into professional sports, you feel like you got to practice all day long, every day, or feel like you're getting passed up. But now you can be strategic in what you do and really get the job done. So it's opened my mind to a lot of things.
In the pursuit of hitting the ball a mile, is that because I've never trained to try and hit the ball that far, and you could probably easily tell from the way I hit the ball yesterday. But do you have to incorporate the rest of golf in that, or does just hitting wedge shots have nothing to do with pounding the ball a mile and a half?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably a unique person in the long drive world. I mean, I do play golf. I did play golf at a high level. I do play a lot of high level amateur stuff now. So it's like I enjoy playing good golf. So I would say yes. Anytime you're moving a club and hitting a golf ball, solid and working it both ways and hit it straight. Yes, you're working on long drive and center punching the golf ball. But there's some other guys that are in the sport would tell me that I'm completely lying to, and you should just go full send it 24/7. So I actually got yelled at by a PGA Tour professional once. My buddy Eric Cole, he was like, I flighted a wedge in there, and he was like, "You're not working on your sport, dude. You should be hitting a wedge as far as you freaking can every time." So I guess it depends who you ask. But I like to play good golf. But I think anytime you're working on center punch in a golf club, you're working on hitting it further.
Is there something satisfying about out driving some of these tour pros that you're out playing with?
I mean, it's definitely fun looking back. I've been very blessed to play with some guys that are up there, Dustin Johnsons of the world, and be able to outdrive them by 40, 50 yards. But when you get down to it and you're paying off the bets and they beat you by 4, 5, 6, and sometimes 10 strokes, you can't really yell too much. But I definitely get in there a little bit, and it's fun putting some yards on them. But and I will say this: there's the guys that really appreciate long drive the most is the PGA professionals, because they get the science behind it, the method of madness of how to hit the ball far. So I would argue they're probably our biggest fans.
What is your favorite speed training drill that I could associate into making my ball speed go over 165? Because right now I'm not rocking over 165 too often.
First of all, 165 is pretty close to tour average, so that's moving it a little bit. But the favorite tool or favorite drill is what you're asking.
Yeah,
for.
like what's your my favorite is to go into the pool and then I swing as hard as I can with the water. You got to have nobody in the pool, otherwise you're just making a mess in front.
You look weird.
Yeah, you look.
Dude,
100%.
I tell everybody this. I mean, if 2 to 3 times a week, just go grab 100 golf balls and go out to a range and just full send it as many times as you can. Don't care where it goes. Just swing as hard as you can. It's kind of like pushing yourself in the gym. You don't know what you got until you push yourself, and that kind of you just got to swing as hard as you can, because your body doesn't know how fast it can work unless you push it. So that's my first step right there.
I'm
just
doing that right after we're done here.
You're gonna do a little speed training?
Without a doubt. He's got me all jacked. Well, when I hear 220 something, my mind broke. And I'm like, I want to, that's amazing. Motivated. Let's just say I'm motivated right now.
See, Wes, look at this. You're inspiring right here in this very moment people to get out and start swinging the club faster.
I've never had that. Inspire the youth, my man. Inspire the youth.
Wes, what is the fastest ball speed you've ever had?
Fastest one is 227. I want to say the fastest ball speed world record now is like 245. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, is that one big tall dude?
I think it's Sam Antonaggio.
246.
I don't know how to say his name. 245. Can you imagine that?
So, question for you on the equipment side in achieving these speeds. We see some of these guys, they've got ladies flex shafts, and other guys have much more of a firm, extra stiff shaft. What is your sort of theory on that, or what route do you go in terms of the flexible or stiff shafts?
That's a great question. So when I first started in 2018 was my first full year. 2017 World Championships was my first year, but everybody was using like 3, 4X golf shafts. Now on a CPM level, so CPM triple X is like a 300 CPM, right? Now they're using like 190 CPMs, which would be, a senior flex, a ladies flex, or even weaker than that. So I tend to lean towards a little bit stiffer shaft than the most of the guys out there, but correlating back to my past, yes, I'm using a shaft that's 10 times whippier than I used to. So it's changed a lot. Everybody, you get, the equipment's gotten so good that just about anybody out there that has a little bit of speed can really can push the equipment to hitting it far now. So it's almost not as fun. Everybody swings fast, to be honest with you.
we were having some fun, in, as I said, in the SoFi Center, hitting some balls, had a little challenge going on. But Wes, you brought up such an interesting point. You thought, man, the SoFi Center would be such a great location for long drive events. I mean, why do you think that sets up so well for that?
Dude, it's absolutely perfect. And I'll be the first one to tell you, long drive on TV, it's hit or miss. I wish we could portray the sport a little bit better on TV, but when you go to a live event, like Dan, you went to Kingsport,
yeah,
there's 1,000 people there. We had this arena built. There's some energy there. It's so much more fun live. And, when we have the big events like that, like Kingsport World Championships, they build these arenas, they have loud music. They really try to create that atmosphere that TGL and SoFi is doing for the PGA Tour. So, I mean, that place is perfectly set up for us, and I got some ideas in mind. I got some pretty good connections in the world, so we're gonna try to push maybe get something in SoFi soon.
I tell you, that would bring me back. I mean, because I love the TGL thing. I love the whole build out, the setup. I think it's so fun. It's such a new addition to the world of golf, and now to expand on that even into long drive, I just think it would be absolutely so fun.
Yeah. Listen, the palm trees is why you want to come back.
That's it. I say, the golf is the excuse, but it's the lack of ice storms is really what's drawing me. Wes, so you were down, you actually you've been to a couple TGL matches. What is your take on that? Overall, this sort of new revolution in the world of golf. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What are your takeaways from this whole emergence of TGL?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I love that they were trying something different. I love. I'm a big golf fan. A lot of people, haters on Live, they have to be Live or PGA Tour. I just love golf, and I love that they were trying to do something different because the world of golf has changed. I mean, we played golf with Grant the other day, Horvat, and like YouTube golf is so much different than professional golf, and people are leaning towards that. So being able to change or do something different to try to incorporate the masses of golf has been awesome. Seeing it come to fruition, being down here in South Florida last year, we had a tornado that ripped off the roof of it. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
but the league was supposed to start last year, and when that roof got ripped off, I was like, "There's no way this is actually happening." They're going to accident, blah blah. Missing the momentum, and to see it actually come to fruition has been the coolest part. I will say this: going in and hitting like we did compared to watching is a lot more fun, and also. Gives a good perspective because, dude, it's hard to chip around there, man. You can't spin the ball. Like, it gives me a newfound appreciation to those boys out there because it's not easy.
Well, I couldn't agree more with you, though, that this innovation is fun and it's fun to see evolve. And I'm right there with you. When that news came out that their big, blow up tent thing that this thing was supposed to be in, it did. It seemed like, this all was coming together. There's going to be this new simulator league. And then the whole original SoFi Center blows away like in a tornado storm. And I agree with you. I really never thought it was going to redevelop all of its momentum all over again. But I think in some ways it was the best thing for it. I felt like they were rushing it. There was all this PGA versus, Live Golf stuff happening, and they felt like they needed to do something. Let's get this product out there. And they didn't. And the fact that they went back and sort of drew up this much bigger plan, this elaborate SoFi Center that it is now, I mean, I don't think that it would be what it is maybe in that old facility. I just think that it was sort of this wild blessing in disguise for this idea they had.
No, 100%. I agree. It's just seeing the different what they changed. It was supposed to be a big bubble, right? And now it's a really an arena that's something state of the art, man. It's really cool to be in there, and hopefully we can go hit some more in there. But long drive event, that's my plan. That's my plan next time. People are like, if I go to Augusta, I'm playing it next time. The next time I go to SoFi Center, it's got to be a long drive event.
Well, I'll be the referee on the field for that one. I don't know.
I mean, you got a pretty good arm with throwing the flag and the hammer. So
yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's video Wes threw up there, and he was doing some chip shot, and I just whipped a hammer flag at him, just straight up, like, hammer, come on. The lights didn't all go.
Missed him completely.
No. I hammered him with
He
it.
hammered him.
No,
Oh, yeah? You got you good?
drilled me right in the stomach.
That's-
It was like,
sounds
I
good.
mean, he might be in the bullpen for the Cubs this season.
I feel like maybe next time we come back down, Wes, instead of the competition thing we did this last time, it maybe more needs to be an instructional thing. You know what I mean? Maybe learn some of these speed training skills firsthand from you.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, can you afford it, Dan?
Hey, Gary, can I borrow?
It's fine.
No, we go way back. I'll
Yeah,
help
right.
you out, buddy. We go way back.
So Wes, I got a question for you. It seems like almost every week in the pod, it comes up as far as live or PGA or combining and all that stuff. So where do you sit? Are you more of a PGA guy? Are you more of a live guy? Or and also, what are your thoughts on them combining and stuff like that?
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I love golf in general. I probably lean a little bit towards live now because I know a lot more of those guys. Being down here in South Florida, a lot of those guys live here. And knowing Bryson, who came into Long Drive for a short period of time, and how awesome a dude he is. So, I really enjoy those guys. But also on the PGA Tour, we have a bunch of those guys that play at my club at Tequesta. So, I'm going to say I plead the fifth on which one I lean towards. But do I think they need to figure out a way to get back to playing together? Yes. I think it's better for the game. I think, I could get really into the weeds in this, but they need to get back together, and I think they will pretty soon. I think the writing's on the wall.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think it was almost this important breakup. Like by them splitting up, it forced everybody to relook at pro golf, relook at the purses, relook at the sort of the structure of the whole thing. But now that we've gone through that learning exercise, okay, let's all kind of bring it home. I think that would be the best for all of us.
No, for sure.
Especially in terms of viewers, you know what I mean? I think people aren't super engaged to pro golf right now. I mean, do you think?
I feel like they can't be big viewers of golf because it's so political. It's like I can't choose a side because somebody else is going to yell at me on the other side, type of thing. So I think a lot of that wore off on some people and then they stopped watching it. But let's just be honest, man. Like the product on TV for like the PGA Tour is not as good as it has been, and then Live Tour is still trying to figure it out. So it's just that's why people are leaning into YouTube golf and watching me and Dan hit balls in TGL.
Well, regardless of whether or not the pros are having fun, we definitely are. I mean, obviously Wes is a pro, but we're referring to the tour, not the long drive at the moment. But, Wes, I tell you what, man, it's fun hanging. I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait for us to get back out there and hit them again. And like I said yesterday, I said maybe I would do better in not world long drive, maybe like world mediumist drive. I don't know if they're going to have a competition for that. I'd fit in a little better there. But again, hey Wes, how do people find you? How do they follow you? What's your Instagram? Where can people see more from you?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is Wes Patterson Golf, and then also I do a lot on the Par 4 streaming app. It's a new platform that is like Twitch for golf, so check it out.
Oh,
Par
cool.
4.
Really?
It's sick. Yeah, look up Par 4, PARFOUR. It's a sick new app that I'm part of and been working on. And so, yeah, Wes Patterson Golf on Instagram, and check out Par 4.
Yeah, I will tell you,
to hear about that.
It is very cool. I had a chance to take a look at it at the PGA show, and it essentially, I mean, it would be like if you were to take TikTok live and then what a golf tournament sort of broadcast looks like, and you bring them together. The scores are on it. People can follow the map of the course, the whole thing. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. You build your own PGA Tour Live, man. It has your own GPS. I mean, you can turn it on and off, but people can see you, like where you're on the golf course. They can see how far you're from the pin. They can see your scorecard. There's live leaderboards. You can build your own tournament, and there's also gambling is being incorporated soon. So hopefully we'll take over the golf world and can be the next sponsor for you guys.
Well, we'll have to put our next round out there on there. We should go live on there.
Ninja just, that's crazy. That's awesome. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it. You guys check it out.
Awesome. All right, Wes, appreciate it, man. I will talk to you soon, and enjoy that beautiful weather you got right there behind you.
All right, boys. I'll send some videos of me hitting some balls today.
Let's go. All right.
See you, boys.
Wes Patterson, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
I'm excited about that app.
Dude, Wes Patterson, cool guy, huh?
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome.
That's really cool.
I mean,
So you were playing golf with him?
yeah, we golfed. He mentioned it. You know, I didn't know if I was going to bring it up or not, though I put it on my Instagram. It was fun. We were at TGL. I saw him there. We're hanging out. After we're leaving, I texted him. I was like, "Hey, you golfing anywhere tomorrow?" And he was like, "Oh, I got some meetings in the morning, but if you want, come by Tequesta, which is his country club he's a member at. Around 11, we'll go out and play, hit some balls, and we'll go play." I'm like, "Cool." We go warm up, hit some balls. He's like, "Hey, let's hop in. They got a spot for us. We can jump in before these next foursomes go." And as we're pulling around to the first tee, he goes, "Hey, I think Grant's going to join us on the back nine." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Do you know Grant Horvat?" And
A little bit.
I mean, I was like,
Just a little bit.
of course, you know, as always, you know, when I end up in these kind of cool circles, I try to play it cool. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know, I mean, we've never met, but you know, I'm aware of him." You know, he's like, "Oh, cool. Well, you'll definitely know him after today because he's golfing with us." I'm like, "Oh, no way."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I literally just watched Grant. Are we live right now?
Oh yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. So like I just watched him play with Phil in the dailies.
Yeah.
What a great Phil chipping in from the sand the first hole, the second hole, and then John showing up 15 minutes late.
Here's what I'll tell you. The perception that Grant puts off is this just really nice sweetheart guy.
You're saying he's not?
He is.
Oh.
He so is. Like, I mean, we weren't filming. There were no cameras. There was nothing. Like he even I actually was scrolling this morning and he posted a little video that he was sick for like the last few days. He doesn't know if he had the norovirus or whatever. I don't know. But he said that he was down for the count. And this is the first time he came back and played golf in like 5 days. He goes, "I haven't touched a club in 5 days." He goes, "This is the longest since I was a kid, since I've swung a club." And so again, there was just nothing. He was just like out playing around. And he was the freaking nicest dude on the planet. Just like totally cool. And like, you know, there's like that one thing where people are nice, but there's another thing where people are like asking you questions. He's like, "So what do you do, Dan?" Whatever. And the great thing was, Wes was like, "Oh, you know, he's got Dan's Golf World." And he's like, "Wait, Dan's Golf World?" He's like, "Wait, I think I know that." You know, and here's me, I've got like a hat on and sunglasses and whatever. And he was like, wait, what? Why do I know that? And I was like, "Oh, I do like a lot of the split screen videos, the storytelling. I did the salty balls." He goes, "Yep." Oh, yeah. Yep. He goes, "Dude, that's great, man." And whatever. He gave me a nice compliment. You know, whatever. But just like a freaking nice dude all the way around. We had fun. And it was cool. He just told some stories. He was telling about how, you know, he and Phil Mickelson teamed up and got together and he just a lot of fun. He was even talking about some behind the scenes stuff from the John Daly thing and just talking about how much fun they are. But here was one of the coolest parts of it. He said that Phil Mickelson is straight up full blown one of the coolest dudes on the planet. And he was like, you know, he goes, "I feel like Phil sort of caught a bad rap for some stuff. And then that one guy wrote this book and told a bunch of stuff about Phil Mickelson's life. And then the live thing happened. And he's like, but the part that Phil doesn't get enough respect for is when the whole live golf PGA thing sort of went down initially, Phil Mickelson was fighting for every golfer and their media rights. And what he said is, that and it all came back to me. I was like, that's right. Like, and that whole thing got washed away because he went to live, and then he's the new villain again and all that. But he said Phil was on a war path for all of these tour players to have access to their own media rights. And he said the thing is like if you know, like in the NBA, like these guys do a cool play and then they share it on their Instagram and whatever, like they just want to show this, they were dunking on this dude or whatever. He's like, PGA Tour players don't have that right. They have to license and pay for that footage to show a cool long putt they made or a drive they did or something fun that happened. Oh, wow. And he's like, he just always felt like it wasn't fair. He was like, we were the ones who performed that shot. That was our moment. Some of these moments are our legacy and our history and everything we've done. And you're saying that we have no access to that. We don't have any way to put something together and share the moment that, you know, Phil Mickelson won another Masters or whatever it may be. And he was fighting for that. And so in that process, he goes, okay, well, then I'm going to go to another tour. Then I'm going to go to a tour that allows that. And because he was fighting for that for all golfers. And, you know, it's sort of something that gets lost in the story of Phil Mickelson. And it was just fun hearing Grant talk about that, talking about how cool of a dude he is. And he was just like, dude, Phil is funny. He's like, he is, I mean, his one-liners and stuff you hear in the video are killer. He's like, but he's funny all the time. He's funny in the parking lot. He's funny at lunch. He's just a funny, cool dude. And man, what a wild, fun sort of turn to the day. Heading out golfing with Wes, which was already a blast. Wes, killer dude, great time. I was so appreciative. He brought me out to his club. And then boom, changed the story. Grant's joining us at the turn. We played the back nine. And we were all kind of done, and nobody was ready to be like done. And they're like, should we go?
Is anybody ever ready to be done?
No. And so the question went around the group. It's like, should we go play a few more holes? And everybody was like, yeah. And Grant's like, yeah, I don't want to be done. And so we went back to the starter, and he's like, yeah, there's some room, kind of a few groups ahead. So we jumped out to the third or fourth hole, and then played another 5 or 6 holes together again. It was a lot of fun. And one of the really special moments was, again, just normal, cool guys. Wes, super normal, cool guy. Grant, super normal, cool guy. Grant did this cool little, like 30 yards out from the fairway chip shot. And it like checks up nicely and kind of rolls up very makeable putt distance to the pin. And I just saw him like take the shot. And I was looking at like kind of his weight and the way he was standing through the shot and his position. And I just said to Grant, I was like, hey, you know, are you shifting weight into your front foot? Or, you know, how are you doing that with your balance through that shot? And he just jumped right into I love talking about golf mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm watching a YouTube video. Yeah. Like I'm not here in reality. I am actually on youtube.com/Grant Horvat or whatever. And he was just having fun. He was just like, dude, he's like, yeah, so whenever I take this shot, I start with all my weight in my lead foot and I keep it there. He goes, so I am not trying to, like I am in a proper full swing shot where I'm shifting weight back and driving back through that forward foot. He goes, on a shot about this distance, I keep it there. I have weight pressed forward. And as I take it, I add a little more weight. He goes, but I never come off that front foot. And I'm just like, this is the coolest shit on the planet. Like, I'm not even like, I heard everything you said, but also like, I didn't hear anything you said because I'm like, staring at your wonderful long hair that comes out of the back of your hat and like the whole thing.
So when you describe that, I wonder how many viewers put their weight on their front foot and then kind of like did the swing like I did in my chair sitting right here. It's like, wait, front foot weight? Okay. Yeah. And then the little swing, you know?
It's like on TV when somebody holds their breath to go underwater. You're like,
yes.
Like, why am I holding my breath? I'm watching this. Same thing. Yeah. It's like, you can't help it.
Were you able to check this out?
I haven't seen the full thing yet. I have seen tons of clips on social, but I haven't watched the full match yet.
Dude, John and Phil together. It's just, dude, the stories that they were telling, the jokes they were cracking. Like little John was getting on his dad about stuff in the video. Like, it's so funny.
Wow. The one clip I did see was them strolling up like 30 minutes late. He's like, well, traffic, had to return a rental car. It's just been a day, whatever. And they just go right to the first tee. And there was something like where they're like, you know, clearly John doesn't need a warm up. He's like rips a heater and just steps up and just pounds his drive. Like hardly even like one waggle.
Well, that was the best because like he asked where to hit and then he's lighting up a heater as they're pointing. So he's like this. So he's not paying attention to him. So Grant's like this. And then little John's like laughing at Grant and walks out of camera. And Grant was like, that's the tone. And Phil's like, that's the tone.
Since I've been cooped up in this studio and even before when I was wandering through the grounds of the Great Augusta National, I have always wanted to do one thing. Find my dad.
Oh.
I know what you're thinking. He probably got abducted like I was. That might be the case, but I think I found him. John Daly is my father. I mean, look at the resemblance. We look identical.
Oh, my God.
Dan, you have to let me meet him. I want to go home to my dad.
Wow. You know what? I never put that together, but now that you mention that Gizmo, I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
There's no going back now.
I love that Gizmo's actually got like a little microphone in front of his face.
How else
you
would
just
we
noticed that?
That's awesome.
How else would we hear him?
10 years later.
And because there's no like mini microphone stand, it's fashioned out of like four different stands and clips.
Arguing for Rich, though, he's never really been in the studio too. So
yeah, and also, you know, on this side,
we did a show together. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I've been here.
I'm arguing for you though. Like you don't see it.
I'm trying to help you out.
Plus, he's an old man. He doesn't have his glasses. Like, yeah, shut up, Rich.
Wow. Well, you know what? When we get John Daly here in studio, we can reunite these guys.
There we go. I do have a question for like everyone though. So, Phil Mickelson and Grant, you know, that's like a perfect combo.
It's crazy, right?
If you had to pick other YouTubers and other pro golfers, combine them, can you find something like that?
Well, here's the reason why I think it's a borderline impossible question to answer is because I don't think anybody would have guessed how magical this duo would be.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, and I feel weird saying this now, but I'm proud of it. But I was saying to Grant, when he was talking about Phil, I said, there's something so interesting about how different your dynamics are that come together and make this whole new thing that is so fun to watch. Like, you guys are very different personalities and mannerisms and energy, but yet unified into this series you guys are doing is so fun. It's electric. Like, it's somehow you're bringing out the best parts of Phil and vice versa. And then the dynamic of you two taking on all these other various interesting people. It's so fun. It's lightning in a bottle. And I can't get enough of it.
Well, even Phil, like, putting the distance reader and in meters. Like,
yeah.
Like that.
Which the
diabolical.
First day meeting Grant, like they had never even done anything. And what's interesting, and Grant also talked about this, I don't know how much, when you meet somebody, are you even supposed to say everything they said? I don't know. I'm probably breaking the rules and nobody's going to want to meet me again, but I'll continue ruining this. He was talking about how that Phil, I got completely lost. I don't know why. Oh, we were talking about the rangefinder and diabolical Phil and all this stuff that when they came together, that now ever since then, all these other pro golfers are like, well, hey, maybe you and I could do a series.
Yeah.
And he's like, especially he goes, you know, whatever. I'm not even going to name names, but he was just saying that other people are coming to him and saying, you know, what about us? What if we did like a this thing, like that thing? And he's like, I don't know how we discover this lightning in the bottle again. And he goes, and what Phil and I have is so fun and so special that he's like, I don't know how to go explore these other ones because I don't see how it could ever be this special again.
You know what's crazy is like if you go back to Legend of Bagger Vance, Walter Hagen approaches Randolph Juna and says, let's go off and do exhibition matches together. And I assumed to win, but you know, and like that was like the first time I ever heard of it.
Yeah.
And like seeing it now, I'm like, I always think of Randolph Jr. getting asked by Walter Hagen, like, let's do these exhibition matches.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like this is so much fun and I love it. And I can't wait to see where it goes for sure.
Do you guys think that this duo is a more gelled, more dynamic duo than Garrett and Bryson?
I think so.
Yeah, because the thing that they got, that they both are like workaholics. So like that one time they came to like beat each other again, like they were both already there like an hour and a half. Like Bryson is like a workhorse too, and Garrett's a very good player. But I think like if Garrett put in just a little bit more of that work ethic that Bryson has, that they would be perfect. But that is definitely what I think would be the closest thing to them is like a Garrett Bryson thing.
And also, I mean, I guess it's so tough because, like, again, I don't think anybody could have guessed the Grant Phil thing. Like, I don't know how you could have seen this coming, but I think somebody like Bryson is such a bold personality that I don't know. I don't see that personality in like a long-term duo scenario. Like, I love the way he pops around and does all of these collabs. But I don't know. I guess I can't pick somebody in my mind. But again, I don't know how you predict this, but who would balance that energy on a long-term sort of thing? I don't know. But I do love the Grant Phil thing. And
I
it's
love how
fun.
much like Little John wanted to beat him, and like they're like, we haven't lost a hole in this whole series yet. He's like, you played one other group. He's like, calm down. He's like, you're into the 6th hole of your second match. He's like, chill out.
That is so weird to me because they were saying
But
that
is
it was the
impressive.
second match, but I thought they were saying we've done this 6 times now. So I don't know if they've had matches before on YouTube
I think that this is their second sanctioned match
in their series.
and then they've gone and played each other twice, so that's 4, and then they've done something else. But I think this is like their second sanctioned match together because they had Dustin Johnson and his brother.
Yeah.
And for them not to win a hole against Phil and Grant, it's pretty impressive. Like, that is impressive to go a whole 18 holes without losing a whole match play against Dustin Johnson.
Look what Phil did in this video.
Oh,
he
he
first
was
2
on
holes,
fire.
chip in.
And like letting him talk the shots out like Grant allows him to do makes him even better. Because if I've never had, like, the other day when me and you played it, our buddy came up and watched us and they were talking a lot of good stuff. We played great because like now you have this vibe from this guy that's an outside source that genuinely is interested and impressed by what you're able to do, but also, you know, is genuine about it. So I think that does help a lot with Phil playing great with Grant. Plus, Grant's a great player to begin with, so to have him on your team, it's like a second backup to the backup.
You guys know what I did immediately after playing Tequesta with Wes and Grant?
What hit balls?
No. I went to Tiger Woods Restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
The Woods.
So cool.
In Jupiter.
That's so sick.
Let me guess the bill.
Well, how about this? I'll tell you what I had, and then you can go ahead and try and guess the bill.
I thought you had a little something before this.
Which thing did I have before this? Oh, thank you. You know what, Josh? Thank you so much. So I had this idea. I'm so glad you brought this up. I was like, okay, I want to talk about like some food and stuff when I'm traveling. And so I pulled up this AI while I was like on the plane or something, or almost to my hotel. I don't know, whatever. And I was having this AI like try and make a song for like talking about food on the show. And I was like, oh, like I told him, like make like a radio jingle, like something about food, I don't know, like whatever. And I put in like some ideas and it spit out this song. And I was like, oh, nice. I can't wait to hear it. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you before Josh plays it. This song is 100% not what I was thinking. However, I'm blown away by the song that it made separately. Not right for the show, but it is right for the show right now. Josh, go ahead and let the food segment song play. Okay. I did not think it was going to make like a pop country ballad.
It's time to talk about food that Danny.
Thank you.
Somewhere random and new, he fills his plate.
It's beautiful.
It's time to talk about food.
I'm just picturing like slow-mos eating burgers or something.
Talk about food.
And it comes back.
Pointing.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about food.
It just repeats this part over and over. But it keeps going. Keep going. Hold on.
Somewhere random
like,
and new.
I feel like I'm listening to country radio right now.
I love this line right here.
Really good.
It's time to talk
No,
about
not here.
food. Shut up, Gary. I wanna talk about food.
It's a big
great.
song. It's a hit.
It's great.
All right.
Bill
How did
even
you get
bigger
that
and-
added in there perfectly? Oh, and there's add some Bulgarian there.
Yeah. I love it. It was like, it's time to talk about food. Shut up, Gary. I want to talk about food. Yeah. So anyway, I'm still in the search for the right song, but we do have this pop country ballad hit on our hands.
Aren't you a Billboard top artist? How come you're not writing this?
You know what? The thing is it's so much easier to type a prompt into an AI than get into the studio and get the band together and write and record songs.
I'll play the triangle.
I have become among the vast majority of lazy creators who just use AI for everything now. I went to Tiger Woods Restaurant in Jupiter, and you know what? I had such a wonderful day that I was like, you know, I've been wanting to go there, and Tequesta is a little bit north of Jupiter. I had to get back down to the SoFi Center in West Palm, kind of halfway between the two. Tiger Woods Restaurant, stop in for lunch. And I'll tell you guys, here was the first thing I was blown away by. If you look in here, there's nothing golf. I thought that the whole place was going to be like golf clubs and trophies and like pictures and all this stuff. And it's not. It's just like a cool, classy, like upscale, restaurant and bar.
They don't have like a shrine of
no
Tiger, like,
but the only
like the statue of Jordan. And
the only thing I found was like in some of the booths, there was this cool, like only in the booth set in the back was like an image of Tiger, like reading a putt or something. And I was like, oh, so they didn't ignore it completely, but I just was expecting something much different going in there. And I was pleasantly surprised right off the bat. Do you guys want to know what I ate?
Yes, go on.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm so glad you brought this up.
I am so hungry too.
All right. So I did something that Rich and I do a lot when we travel is I went for the recommendations from the server. I was like, what do I got to get? What's really good here? She goes, well, people love the lobster bisque. I was like, dude, let's start there. She goes, well, unless you're going to do a salad. And she was like, then I was like, well, how about this? We'll do both. Let's start with the soup. Okay. Lobster bisque. Let me tell you what. Lobster bisque can be screwed up. I love a good lobster bisque. Sometimes it gets too thick. It's too heavy. Tastes a little overcooked. Whatever. No. Smooth, creamy, beautiful thin broth. Lot of lobster lumped on the top there. Right off the bat, I love that I knew we were off to a good start. Do you guys, Gary, are you a lobster bisque guy?
I'd eat it at Tiger's place.
Okay. I like that. I didn't know if you're going to say no, you're more like chicken nuggets and ketchup, but... Josh, you don't eat lobster bisque, do you?
I've never had lobster bisque, but I'll eat lobster. I love lobster.
Rich loves a good bisque.
Oh, for
you
sure.
You could bisque anything. You could bisque a flip-flop.
I do have a side question. How many Rice Krispie treats have you eaten today?
0.
0?
How many granola bars have I eaten today? About 8.
Wow. Anyway, soup was great. Let's keep going. I don't want to do this all day. Next, we got into the salad. Dude, this is the house salad. There's like hard-boiled egg.
That's like $100 in eggs.
Dude, so here's what we got, and I wrote it down. Arugula, hearts of romaine, radicchio, smoked bacon, roasted corn, carrots, diced hard-boiled egg with a honey balsamic vinaigrette. And my favorite, it was pre-tossed. You know what I mean? So you're not drizzling it on the top and then trying to stir around your whole plate. That honey balsamic, I tell you what, I could drink by the gallon.
Are those big croutons?
Humongous croutons. And I think they're making them in-house. You know what I mean? They don't all look identical. You know what I mean? They got a little variation to them.
This is supposed to be a starter. This thing's huge.
Yeah. And, this to me could have been the entire lunch. You get a little chicken or something on that easily. Again, I was prepared to give a full-blown critique. And again, I loved the salad. But I said now here on the lunch menu, I was there at lunchtime, what is the go-to item? She said, hands down, the most popular item is our open-faced prime rib sandwich. Okay, I can get on board with that. But check this out, okay? Here we got an 8-ounce ribeye, balsamic onions. Do you see those onions on top? That sort of dark region there? It was dark in there, whatever. I don't know how great the pictures did. But those onions were unbelievable. Kind of sweet, beautiful. Then there was something they call drunken goat cheese. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you make it. Heirloom tomato and cowboy butter drizzled all over this thing and melted. And then they give you a side of this horseradish cream sauce up there in the top right corner. And then I said for this, she goes, what do you want for your side? I was like, well, what's the best one you got? She goes, truffle fries. I'm like, oh my God, I am living like, I feel like I was eating like a king.
Was that bottomless fries? Those look like the Red Robin bottomless.
You know what? Here's the thing. I had, at this point, already ordered so much food, I didn't want to find out. But no, this was a classy place. They're not doing Red Robin bottomless. I would say this would be on par with like a Ruth's Chris or like a Morton's level of like steakhouse quality.
I've never heard of that place.
Well,
Christ.
Maybe for your honeymoon, you could swing by, get a nice steak.
My dollar amount just went up with that comparison right there. So,
yeah, I might have blown it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I'm telling you this. And see that kind of like a ciabatta bun kind of a roll it's on. Sometimes those get a little dense. They're a little much. You kind of like when you bite them, you got to tear it with your teeth. Like those sandwiches at the gas station. This was nothing like the sandwiches at the gas station. That thing was like a pillow.
Yeah, it looks like a
was like a pillow.
I love that you just compared. You went in the following sentences. Well, this is like a steakhouse
Mom's
restaurant,
gas.
and it was so much better than gas station sandwich.
You know, I'm referring to how ciabatta can be mistreated.
You know what I was thinking about? Like how Augusta has everything really cheap for everybody. I was like, wonder if Tiger did that. And then I was like thinking about his cashmere $350 sweaters online. I'm like, never mind, I'm switching.
Sandwich was phenomenal. I'm telling you. Like at this point, I am now stuffed. But she goes, do you want to see the dessert menu? I was like, it's lunch. Like, who gets dessert at lunch? Like, not a chance. But I said to her, I was like, is there anything on there that I need to try? And she goes, there's 2 things on there you should try. I'm like, well, I'm not going to try 2, so let's go with 1. She goes, my favorite are these warm macadamia nut cookies over a scoop of ice cream. But the crowd favorite is called s'mores casserole. Okay? So it is like a s'more, the toasted marshmallows on top. The middle layer was just Nutella, like all warm Nutella. And then at the bottom, there was like this underground layer of crumbled graham cracker. So as you're scooping and digging in with graham cracker and you're getting like the toasted marshmallows, you're getting warm Nutella, you get this bonus layer of crumbled graham cracker at the bottom. I am telling you, I didn't eat for like 2.5 days after this. Phenomenal.
I looked like I would have been filled with just the bisque.
The bisque was plenty. And then this house salad was enough to feed a house.
This is right up my alley. I love s'mores.
Oh, dude.
So like,
And then the finale of it, so as we get to guessing the price, hopefully it's not in the picture, and I don't think it is. Look how they brought the check. Do we got this? It comes in a scorecard.
So fun.
So as the whole place was like very subtly, almost non-golf, the check comes in this little scorecard.
The most golf.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the scorecard is actually from a Tiger Woods designed golf course, Blue Jack National. So it is an actual scorecard. Like those yardages are real from, holes that he's designed.
Oh, it says Tiger on there too.
It's kind of fun. All right. Who wants to take a guess? Take a stab.
All right. How about we do this? Let's have somebody set an over-under.
Okay.
So I'm going to set the line at 87.50.
Okay. And are we,
the minimum line.
We're going total pre-tip or total post-tip?
Pre-tip.
Pre-tip. Okay.
Pre-tip.
Yeah.
Pre-tip. So what do you guys think?
I'm
over or under 87.50?
It's over 87.
I'm saying over.
Over. Both of you guys are over? All right.
Well, my guess is 144.
No, like I made the line, so I think it's 87.50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my line is 144.
Yeah, 144. I'm about like 115.
Which is also his cut thing, 144, 146.
$75.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I do think it's because I was ordering off the lunch menu.
Yeah.
I think if all those were dinner entrees, they, a lot of times prices change, portions change, whatever.
Really cheap.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's a good line. I was off $10.
Yeah. It wasn't, and honestly, like, I would never order like 2 starters, an entree, and a dessert at lunch.
So you could easily spend $30 there at lunch.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it wasn't out of this world. I mean,
nice.
Surprisingly, literally, like right next door, it was next door to a Ruth's Chris. Like, so it could have been much higher. Clearly, it was fun. That was kind of a highlight of the trip. I was happy about
Besides
it.
Grant.
Okay. This trip was very highlight filled.
Yeah.
I had some highlights from the press conferences, highlights out of the golf course, highlights at a lunch, whatever. I don't know. I had a great time all the way around. So we made some predictions last week for the Cognizant Classic. Of course, Gary, you weren't here to make a prediction. Guys, who were your picks? Do you remember who you guys went with last week? We made picks for who's going to win the Cognizant Classic. I took Jake Knapp. Do you guys remember who you picked?
No.
I don't remember. I remember, but I don't remember.
Well,
I picked Minwoo.
You went Minwoo. Yeah. Oh, and Rich, you
Sergio?
Nays on Live.
Who was it? Who was it?
Coming from the guy that said I had nothing good to say.
Well, here's what I will tell you. I felt so strong in my prediction when Jake Knapp went out and shot a 59, 12 under, bogey-free round, putting him into a drastic lead in this tournament. And I thought, finally, I get to do a victory lap here back on the show. I picked the winner, but then the weekend went on to prove that we do, in fact, jinx everyone that we choose here on the show.
That BS beekeeper hat.
What was funny is
it looks like Dumbo.
In our group text, we had that where you had his score instantly there, and I'm like, post this test because he's not going to win now.
I was playing indoor when he was in the water. I'm like, don't do that. Just take it out. You're in the lead. What are you doing? And then he hits it twice in the water. I'm like, oh my God.
Brutal. Yeah, he's like, got shoes off, down like with his feet in the muck.
Doing?
Hitting out of the water. It goes back in the water, hits it again. It gets stuck on the side of the hill. Dude took like a triple bogey while you're in the lead.
Well, didn't he only go like 1 under for like 3 rounds after that?
Yeah, like after the 12 under, I think he was 1 under the next day. Yeah,
he used up all of his birdies.
Well, and what's wild is he's the 15th person historically on the PGA Tour to shoot a sub 60 round, and it's unbelievable because to go and shoot what is essentially a historically low round. And the next day shoot 1 under, which again, 1 under is phenomenal. I mean, I would love to be able to go play tour condition golf course, PGA National, and shoot a 1 under. Of course, that'd be the greatest day of my life. But in terms of pro golf, that's not enough. That's not going to do it.
Look at Jim Furyk twice.
What a guy.
58. 59 wasn't good enough.
Dude, he had a chance to shoot like 57, 56.
Jim Furyk?
No.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't know Adam Hadwin shot 59. That's cool. I just got recognized to him for Full Swing.
Yeah. Dude, I finally finished Full Swing.
So good.
Oh, my God.
What's with him and Rory in the locker room? Why do we got to see Rory shirtless 16 times? It was so weird.
If it was Tiger, you would have liked it.
No, I wouldn't have. That's weird. Anyways, moving on.
I didn't mind. It's always fun to know, like, what's going on. These guys, like, like, whatever. Or you see like with Shane Lowry and Rory, where like Rory's there doing like lunges and squats and like
drinking a beer.
He's just like walking by like, is it time to go tee up? I don't know. Yeah. So once again, another week, our record stays strong of a complete failure to call a winner on a tournament. I've had this idea that to really make our predictions weigh a little more, maybe we start turning them into bets. Like we get on like a betting app. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we pick a number, like throw $10 at it or something like that. So who won this one though? Who do we have as the winner? Who robbed Jake Knapp for this Cognizant?
It was, what is his name?
Joe Highsmith.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, and you know what though? At the same time, like good for him.
His story for this tournament is sick.
Well, tell us about it, Josh. Why don't you take us on a little story journey?
So he is the first person since Brandt Snedeker in the 2016 Farmer Insurance Open to win the event, being the cut number after round 2, like after the cut. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about showing up.
Can we talk about that hat?
That's what Gary said. He's like his big beekeeper hat or whatever you call it.
Us lefties, man, we're a little weird.
Very.
See, he's a lefty?
Yeah.
Stands on the wrong side of the ball, huh?
It's terrible.
He's got his button
It's actually
to the top too.
Technically the right side of the ball.
Facts.
It's just so weird to me. So this guy, Joe Highsmith, was born in the year 2000.
Yeah, I know.
In the year 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Gary, what year were you born?
88.
You're so old.
You were
Rich,
born.
We won't talk.
You're 10 years older than me.
79.
That's a great song. 1979, Smashing Pumpkins.
Luke Clanton secures his PGA Tour card at the ripe age of 21 years old, and he's still in college. Dude is still in college and is already set to be on the PGA Tour, and he's not even a senior yet. Like, he still has another year of college, and so he's in this position now where he gets to decide, do I quit school tomorrow? Do I finish up the school year and not go back for my senior year? Or do I finish out the rest of this year and next year and then go to the PGA Tour? Because his card is waiting for him. Whatever decision he makes, the card applies for all of those above.
So 2 questions. 1, what did he do to secure it? And 2, how long is it good for?
I don't know how long his card lasts. It's not in my notes here, but essentially, so what they have is called like the PGA U program, where it requires far less points to get your card if you're still a college player, because obviously you can't play full time, whatever. So he had a hell of a year. Let's see here. Tied 41st at the US Open. Pretty solid. Okay. Let's see here. First amateur since 1958 to go back-to-back PGA Tour top 10s. It's a long-standing record he finally got in there on. T10 at the Rocket Mortgage, and he was the runner-up at the John Deere Classic. He was T2, almost taking a PGA Tour win. So multiple top 5 finishes, including a strong showing at the RSM Classic. He is now, while still in college, in the top 100 in official world golf rankings. I think he's like 92 right now.
That's the pro rankings,
Yeah,
not the college rankings.
that is the overall every golfer on the planet minus Live Golf because they don't count them. He's a top 100 golfer in the world. And he is currently the number 1 college golfer.
That is such a flex.
That is such a flex.
Like, can you imagine like going back to your school, like, yeah, I'm in the top 100 in the world.
Just playing at a D1 college in any retrospect is like insane. To be number 1 out of all of them.
Here's the thing that I had no clue of. First of all, when they're like, yeah, he got his tour card. They play in the tour. They got the tour card. He wants to get his tour card. He lost his tour card. I never really knew, like, is it like a card? Like a literal card or not? Like, I don't know. Like, you don't see guys like holding up their card. So he is holding up his card. And so it clearly is a card. Here's the other part I didn't know. And if you look really closely there, his name is like punched into the card. Like, it looks like somebody did this in the Home Depot parking lot.
Yeah, old school.
Like the letters aren't even straight. Like the first letters like drifted way over and like on an angle. And it look, I think sick. like there's like they pick up like a punch and like a hammer and they're just like, all right, L for Luke and let's find the U for Luke. You know what I mean? I just, if you were to ask me what the PGA Tour card looks like and how do we put the players' names on it, I would have guessed none of these things, including the erratic lettering all over it.
That's nuts.
It is. I had no idea. But good for this kid. Some other fun sort of highlights from him. So the kid, born in 2003.
Ugh.
Already weird. Kid attended the American Heritage High School in Florida, where he won 3 Florida high school state championships.
Wow.
2019, 2021, and 2022.
Are those team or individual?
High school state titles or championships, I don't know. Probably team. I'm not sure. Then
there's medalists and then there's team.
He went to FSU, started there in 2022, rose to number 1 in the world, the number 1 amateur in the amateur golf rankings his sophomore year. And since then, he won the Seminole Intercollegiate, the Valspar Collegiate, the Lewis something else Memorial, who knows what. So this dude is, I mean, he's
on
had
fire,
just absolutely on fire. And the funny thing is they were asking him in an interview, like, what do you think you're going to do? Are you going to finish out the year? Are you going to whatever? He goes, I don't know. All I'm focused on is going back to school and winning this year's championship.
Nice.
Like, dude, I do love that. Like, it's not like, hey, guys, I know that was our goal like the last 5 or 6 months straight, but screw you. I'm in the top 100. I got a PGA Tour card. Good luck.
That's what Dunlap did.
Which part?
Left and went to the tour.
I wouldn't blame anybody. I mean, do you know how much money he didn't win from maintaining amateur status while multiple top 10 finishes, runner-up at John Deere Classic? You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars that he just doesn't get to accept.
Now, do you think that these guys that are coming out of college, getting their tour card before college, and they say they're on tour, they quit college or quit college golf, do you think these guys are finishing their education? Or do you think they're just like, screw it, I'm making so much money, it don't even matter?
Here's the thing, like, what is the purpose of the education? Like when people are like, hey, you know what, you got to go to college. For what? To get a job? Like, I don't think people go to college just so like they can like install information into their brain. Like it's not, there's like not no point for it. What job is he going to school to like secure? What's the point? Like,
yeah.
Like he's like, well, at least I'll have, I don't know, my arts degree to fall back on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do it for? I don't know.
You might do it for fun and a personal thing, but I mean, like Dan said, he doesn't really need it, but he might just do it to see if he could do it. And he does it quietly, but you never know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How many people finish college every year? How many people get a tour card every year? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, what? Again, I don't want to diminish anything or anybody's goals. I feel like,
but the tour card is way harder.
And
coaches, oh my God,
like, coaches also, you could tell if you have a good coach if they're like, you need to do this, like you need to leave, you need to go play on tour.
You need to not leave because we have a championship in like a month and a half. Well,
so you said he was born in 2003, right?
Yeah.
Tiger Woods had already won the Masters 3 times by then.
Jeez. Oh my God.
97, 01, and 02, baby.
There you go.
Oh my God.
He already won the not participated in the Masters, won the Masters.
And held the record for the biggest margin of win for the longest time.
What year was Tom Kim born?
2003.
02.
Was it 02 or 03?
It was 03 because he said the same thing to Kim. He's like, I already won the Masters 3 times.
That's where I pulled it from.
Yeah.
We saw that same clip.
This might sound weird, but I still can't get over the fact of like older kids, like, because now I'm 26, I was born in 98, and it sounds weird, but I use it as like, if you're born after 9/11,
yeah,
I think it's weird.
Yeah, well, right, because it's like, for us, it's a memory, not like a piece of history from a book.
Yeah.
And like we're 7th graders. Like I remember like watching it in a history class and nobody wanted to play football afterwards. And like everybody, yeah.
It ruined 9/11 ruined football.
Yeah. Ruined backyard football.
That sucks.
Bullshit.
Jesus. Well, speaking of tour cards, there is some alleged rumors that Brooks Koepka wants back on the PGA Tour. Now, we haven't heard an official statement from Brooks himself, but it is a rumor that has been leaked from his close friend and confidant, Mr. Fred Couples.
Freddie.
Now, apparently, Fred Couples is on KJR 93.3 FM, spilling the beans, just dumping out the tea on Brooks Koepka. I don't know if Brooks asked him to say that, if Brooks is regretting that he said that, or if, like most things, Brooks Koepka doesn't give a shit. That's probably what it is. But apparently, we had the breaking news last week that Bryson DeChambeau was potentially in like a contract negotiation, wanted $280 million. He comes back and says, no, that's not the case. I am all in on Live Golf. I'm excited about the legacy we're building and creating for the Crushers, and this is where I am, and this is, which at the same time sounds like a very PR sort of crafted response, right?
The people that just gave me $200 million a couple years ago, I still have to say I want to stay here,
which was probably like line 24 on the page. You have to always say this is where you want to be.
I can't be like, thanks for the money, but I really want to play over there.
Man, does this suck?
Yeah.
Anyway, watch us on FS5 or whatever they're on.
FS5.
But yeah, Fred Couples spills the beans on Brooks Koepka. He says, I talk to Brooks all the time. He wants to come back. He says, I will say that I believe he really wants to come back and play the tour. So that's his belief. They say they talk all the time. Predictions. Do we think Brooks is first to go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
as far as contracts go, did everybody sign the same amount of contracts? Is his contract coming up?
They were all undisclosed. So we have no hard factual information on the details.
I don't know. I just, let's just get a deal done so they're just all back together.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if Brooks goes, and then Bryson goes, and then, and then if Phil goes, and then if you got all these guys that are just leaving, like we said last week, Liv's going to be nowhere. It's not going to be worth anything, and it's just going to be, back to the PGA run and everything, and no advancement in golf at all.
To me, it's like, it's moving so slow, and everything we get is this little like drop of info that makes it sound like we're getting closer. It's like, we we went from framework agreement to deal in structure or whatever. I don't know, like whatever all these new terms mean. It's like, oh, things are really accelerating. And then, the president's getting involved and it seems like it's all happening, but it's like, there's no real information. It's just these like woo-woo sort of things.
So do we think that the PGA is actually delaying and dragging their feet because if they're now getting word that some of the players want to come back, they know that the LIV loses all their negotiating power?
Well, Rory made an interesting comment in a press conference, and he said, deals are two-sided and it takes two to tango, or however he said it. And he goes, and if one side is not willing to negotiate, that sort of puts a damper on things. He's sort of been the PGA spokesperson of sorts. I don't feel like he's referring to the PGA when he says that.
Oh, you think LIV's dragging their feet?
That is my takeaway just from following this. And I don't feel like he's saying, well, the PGA doesn't really want to negotiate here. That's because it was a little bit of like, listen, this thing could be done quicker, but because I don't think Rory has the ability in him to be sort of critical of the PGA Tour. And that was a little critical of one of the sides in the negotiation.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
The funny part about the article I found this from, the guy wrote, couples did not state that Brooks meant he wants to leave LIV in order to play the PGA Tour. So like this,
he wants to come back. He just doesn't want to leave.
Like this whole article, like could just be like nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's like if you ever like look up online like symptoms and why you're feeling sick, it's always like the most devastating thing ever. However, more than likely it could be like the sniffles. It's like that. It was like this like crazy breaking news, but at the very bottom, it's like, however, he doesn't actually want to leave LIV, and none of this matters. And this whole article was a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. LIV Hong Kong. I see you put this in here, Josh. Was there anything interesting going on at LIV Hong Kong?
Oh, they're playing in Hong Kong.
Did they already, or they're about to?
They're about to tomorrow.
It's happening tomorrow?
Yeah.
March 7th through the 9th, it says.
And just like all the other LIV events this year, you guys tuning in? Nice.
I feel bad, but no.
I got my own events.
Like
how many LIV events are there?
13?
Okay.
I think.
One a month.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Couple
So
$100 million.
2 less than Tiger's scheduled 15, whatever.
It's not a bad run.
Right.
And the thing I do like about it is they all show up to all of them. That's what I love about it. They all show up to all of them.
Yeah.
Like,
well, when you're getting a check, like,
well, right,
that's
but
kind of the thing.
That was the format that they created. They said, listen, we're giving you this check.
And
We
you can
expect you
still
at
win
all of
money.
them.
Yeah.
Like the Cognizant Classic. Like Scotty's not there. Rory's not there. Victor Hovland's not there. Like the list goes on and on. So you're like, oh, wow, I've always wanted to go to a PGA Tour event. And there's one coming to town. Oh, come on, guys. Let's go to the Cognizant Classic at the beaches of Palm Garden. Like whatever the hell the huge name is.
Right. Let's go to Mexico.
Right. Like you're going to get there and it's like, oh, cool. Like what time does Scotty tee off? Like, oh, he's not here. We're not going to see him.
Yeah. But I feel like there's just too many PGA events is the problem.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, Gary, no. Like
more golf, the better. But if you're going to go watch everybody go to the playoff, then just deal with it.
I mean, I feel it's like baseball. There's too many baseball games. And I know it's like a lot of people don't want to say it, but there's too much baseball. Like I don't want to watch every single game every single day. But like playoffs baseball is electric.
See, I feel like there's too many sports overall. We should just have less sports.
I think the baseball schedule though is definitely worse. 182 games a season.
Yeah, it's too much.
Times that by 15 because each team plays each other.
Right.
All right. Who's got a calculator out? Who can give me 182 divided by 4?
182 divided by 4? Why are we
Just
doing that?
Give me the number, would you?
Like 122?
There's not a chance.
What's the number?
No.
182 divided by 4.
I have it. Do you want to guess?
12.
He just looked, cheater.
45
45 and a half.
Okay.
I was going to say around 40.
So the entire baseball season schedule divided by 4 rounds per weekend, that would be like 45 tournaments of golf. We're at about 33. If you know, because they play a series. Yeah.
Because it's a 4-day event opposed to a 1-day event.
So you've got to tune in 4 times to see this sort of series play out this weekend of golf.
Yep.
I was just trying to compare the MLB's ridiculous schedule is not that far off of the amount of golf you have to consume to keep up with the PGA Tour.
And then if you add live in there, there's your 45.
Out of control. And now what? We're going to tune into the DP World Tour, the LPGA. Nobody on this planet watches Korn Ferry.
Champions.
It's champion. Oh my God! Like there's like rounds of golf to be watched. Has to be hundreds and hundreds. It's impossible. It is impossible.
I love like nicer restaurants or like old bars. They turn on the Champions Tour. I'm like, what are we watching? I'm like looking. I'm like, oh, this is the Champions Tour.
Hanger.
Yeah, with this humongous putter. Huge. Get out of here. I will say though, like if I am anywhere and there's any format of golf on a TV, I'm happy. Facts. It doesn't matter. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Would you put the golf on, please?
Just put any golf on.
Talking to the remote you steal from the bar. Golf. I like when it's the
Does
talk.
that work?
Yeah, they got the talk version.
You go to the remote, the bar and just talk on the remote?
The sweet spot all the time. You never see me grab it?
No, I'm usually staring downrange, pounding balls relentlessly until I go home. Arnold Palmer Invitational is coming up this weekend. Speaking of all the big boys getting back together, a couple notable misses. Ricky Fowler was not offered an invitation, nor was Jordan Spieth.
No.
Why?
What?
Yeah.
What?
They were not offered invitations to this event. And Ricky even said, he's like, it's disappointing, but it's kind of a little kick in the pants to like step my game up where I should be, viewed as.
Jordan had the hand thing.
Yeah. But he's back and he's playing well.
I will say this. I love iced tea. But coming from Augusta's to only being able to drink Arnold Palmer's is a really big letdown. If I wanted lemonade in my tea, I'd be better off taking a piss in it. Yuck. How does your breed of life consumes this?
Gross. I more prefer John Daly personally, though.
Yeah.
I love Arnold.
Spice it up a hair.
I don't mind Arnold Palmer.
I forgot what it was. Oh, there was a graph and it was like started in like the 80s or whatever. It was like the cost of Arizona iced tea versus the cost of eggs.
Yeah.
And so there's just this flat line of 99 cents for Arizona iced tea and then the price of eggs, like going nuts, whatever.
Dude, that's the best, dude. You get that huge can.
Yeah.
For 99
and I love that they print it on the can. So like you can't,
can't change
there's
it.
no riffraff here.
Yeah.
The price is on the can.
Just like the Chester fries. Ever had they're like hot Cheetos?
Yeah. I got those once when I was like, 8 maybe. I don't know.
Dude, they're the best.
So a side note, not golf related. So we have a couple restaurants and stuff out in Indiana, and I was looking at the Cisco order to order eggs. $9.50 a dozen.
Jeez.
Wow.
I was like, yeah. So to order eggs to your restaurant from Cisco, $9.50 a dozen. Insane.
That is insane. Like
insane.
That's gonna make like $30 omelets.
Well, that's what
like
that salad you had.
Yeah.
I was like, that's $100 in eggs right there. Like
the egg cost alone,
right?
You're gonna have to contact Liv and
Yeah,
get
you were
contract
pretty adamant
just for
about it.
eggs.
I was like, yeah.
Wow. Do we have any predictions going into the Arnold Palmer?
Not Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Here's the thing. Right off the bat, I'm taking it. I'm going Scotty Scheffler.
Going Scotty Scheffler.
Because he's had, I believe, 2 wins at this so far? So I'm grabbing him before anybody else does. Also jinxing him.
Is that fair? Like,
hey, listen, first come, first serve. Dibs.
I'm taking the number 1 golfer in the world.
Yeah, I opened the question. Nobody answered, so I pounced on it. What do you want me to do?
All right, so who we all taking in the Arnold Palmer? I'm taking Scott Scheffler.
I asked. You heard me.
I got a sleeper because he's already won once. Ludwig Uber.
I picked that. Oh. I knew it. I was like, yell it.
Ludwig.
Wow. All right, Gary.
Tiger's not in it.
I know. I was like,
Rory.
yeah, I'll pick Rory.
Are you?
Yeah, I like Rory.
Nice.
I'll pick
He
Rory.
needs a backer.
He needs a backer.
Yeah, listen,
I like
you know what?
Rory. Rory's
he
the man, dude.
laughed at my Keegan Bradley
Yeah,
question.
Rory's cool.
I love
The
Rory.
kid's a good kid, dude.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
Is he older than you or younger?
Way younger. I'm like 37. He's like 32.
Is he? I
You
feel like
guys-
he's like my, I feel like he could be my dad just because he's like that.
Him and Ricky are like the same age.
You guys want live score updates from round 1?
Is it already underway?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let Rich pick
Was
first.
he looking at this?
Wait, Rich, are you looking at the scores?
He was too. Look at these dumbass smiles.
Okay, you know what?
Throw some cheese at him. Both.
You guys with your computers over there.
Hold on. I did not realize. I thought I was on the wrong page because there were scores on there. I forgot that they started today.
Ludwig's in the lead.
All right, Rich, just give us information. I'm sitting over here in the dark.
Get your tees ready.
Who you got?
I'm throwing golf balls.
I'm taking the mustache.
Oh, Keegan.
You're going Keegs?
I'm going Keegan.
Let's go. You know
I'm going
what?
Keegan.
I support your decision so much. And man, I wish that, unfortunately, he's not going to be back at TGL anymore. I can't follow up with him on this.
So who did you say?
I went Scotty. I went for the big dog, the big Scott.
He went -1 on the day.
That was good.
Who'd you have?
Rory.
Rory is -2, sitting in 5th.
Nice.
I had Oberg. He's even, tied 15.
Okay.
You really had to pick Keegan Bradley, who's tied for first right now.
You know what? Good for him.
Go.
With -3.
It's the stash.
3 under is top spot right now with some Connor C. I don't know how to booze and do hoot. Whatever his name.
I've got his jersey. I wear it all the time.
Wyndham Clark too.
Nice.
Siwoo Kim.
Siwoo Kim's tied for 5th at -2. Lowry, he's -2. McElroy is -2.
Are they done or are they still in active round?
The Bazoogan Hoot is on 17, and then Clark is on 14.
Ooh, so Clark's got some time to play.
Yeah, so they're coming down the wire here. There's an 11, so I think they're all about halfway.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, obviously, we just jinxed 4 incredible players by bringing them up on the show.
Rory.
We'll see. I don't know. You know what we need to have? We need to have like something where whoever finally gets it right first wins. I don't know. Maybe we all put $1 in each
Wins
week.
a Groove It brush.
Wins a Groove It
there
brush.
We go.
Thank you.
Love it.
There we go. Great call, Josh. You know what? Great call.
I did want to tell you what they did, though.
Yeah.
On hole 17, you see that big bunker right off the water.
Oh, wow.
They took it out. Now, I was going to ask you guys, but we just didn't get to it yet. Do you think that helps or hurts? Because, you know, that cliff seems 100% a little steep.
Here's why I say 100% hurts. Because I would rather be short and in a bunker than short and in the water,
Bounce.
penalty, stroke, the whole thing. I mean, you have a chance to get out of the bunker, get up and down. You can still make birdie. Once you're in that water, birdie's out of the question. That doesn't exist. That's no longer an option.
Is that
so
like
iconic.
I can't tell. Is that like a steep drop off right there?
It looks steep.
Yeah, I mean, that new hole, the after looks treacherous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you put it on the green or you don't.
Right. Well, there's no room to miss in any direction. I mean, obviously, you know, grandstands, you see guys sitting out of there all the time, whatever. But there's just the whole situation is just microscopic.
And you notice it's back too. Like there's more water.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like if you look at the front,
the fairway's the same size pretty much, and they just dug out the sand almost and just put water.
Yeah.
Unless we're looking at it at a different angle than what it's shot, it looks pretty much the same.
Anybody know how many yards?
No.
162.
It's a par 3.
Is it? Gary's like 162.
No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to see what I think Rich would have. Yeah.
Well, you got your rangefinder.
You got your.
Let's see if you can.
Is it in meters?
Yeah. Well, I will say though, like this is a tournament that would be on my list to try and tune into for some. Am I going to watch?
I've been there.
You been to Bay Hill?
I've been there. I watched Tiger. We actually, my dad had an NBC shirt on when we were a little kid, and they thought he worked for NBC, so he had his VHS camcorder
over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder.
Wow!
It was
taping over his wedding.
95-ish, 96, and like Tiger was there talking with Ernie, and we watched it 10 years later, and we're like, oh, look at Ernie Els is talking to Tiger. So that was technically the first time I ever saw Tiger.
Wow. That was before I was even born.
Yeah. Good times.
Wait, what year?
Like 95, 96.
Holy cow.
Like Tiger was an amateur still.
That was before the Atlanta Olympics, right? 96. No.
I don't know.
I
know I'm going to do the speed training that Wes told me today.
Big news coming out July 25th.
Happy Gilmore 2 release.
Happy Gilmore 2's coming out.
I'm
Finally having
excited.
it. I feel like this has been talked about for 3 years straight.
This is going to be great, though.
Yes.
And the amount of pros that are in it,
It's phenomenal.
it's crazy.
No,
You
we
could-
play with that kid that they filmed on the thing.
It's so popular. You could play with Shooter McGavin on the new 2K.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
the
you could play a
kid?
shooter.
Gary, I don't, you,
Remember
you
when
play
we,
with the kid on the thing.
Remember when we
No.
played in West Palm Beach and the kid said that they filmed at his country club?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes,
Yeah,
it was
that's right.
annoying.
Yeah.
Really not.
How do you say no? Like, as a pro, like,
You
obviously
don't.
every
You don't.
pro who plays golf grew up watching Happy Gilmore. You had to have. It seems to be. You get the call like, hey, we want to have you in, like as a cameo or be a part. Like, do you think anybody's like, no, I won't do that? Who says no?
How much do you think they pay them?
Probably not
Some
a
probably
lot.
don't even want to get paid. You're
Probably
like, I'll do
not
it.
a lot.
Don't pay me.
That'd be fun to know. Like Scotty Scheffler is like,
Yeah.
like
He
listen,
probably would say nothing.
like for you to have like, your logo on the tip of my sleeve is $1 million. You want me like here in your movie that you're going to sell for the next 20 years?
Yep.
Sure, I'll do that for free.
Is that going straight to Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix film.
Netflix is great. So
That's awesome.
I'm
Does
excited.
that mean it'll never be in theaters?
Probably not. It doesn't.
TVs are so big now; it's almost like a theater, anyways.
I'll put on my VR. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
fine.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know what else is coming up
What?
in 32 days?
You're-
The Masters.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
32 days.
Gary, have you ever been to the Masters?
I got a hat.
You don't have to
though.
answer that.
I have a hat.
Nice.
Nice.
Now, 32 days. Is that till the first round or is that till the first practice day?
Oh, I have no clue.
I would say round. It's not practice.
Yeah,
right?
because
Let me-
Monday, Tuesday.
let me look
'cause
at
we're
my
already
source.
So technically, we're in the 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking.
It says April 7th.
Yeah, it just say Masters Week.
So does that? I don't know. I don't know if that answered my question.
So
or not.
it would be.
Pulling up a calendar.
I think the 11th is the first. No, not the 10th is the first day. 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. 4 days.
It says April 7th, which is the Monday.
Oh, okay. So we're 32 days out till the Monday.
From that
Yeah.
Monday.
Which means 31 days till I fly out.
You're going again?
Of course. What?
And
Yeah.
And also that weekend is Passover and Palm Sunday.
Sweet.
Well, usually I celebrate those, but I can't this year because I can only celebrate one thing at a time, and I'll be celebrating the Masters. So that's it.
There we
Boom,
go.
boom, boom. I don't know. All right, guys.
Thank you.
We covered everything. Now all I can do is think about the Masters, think about Gizmo. You know what, dude? Hey, I've had about enough of you. You shut up. No, you shut up. I don't know. Whatever. All right, guys. This is great. We're all in the studio together.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you, this was probably top 5 moments of my life, including
You have 4 kids and you're married.
Top 5 lie of his life.
and one of those top 5 was the Masters. I'm not going to say anything else. I don't know. All right. Gary, you're good?
Good.
Josh, you're good?
I'm good.
Rich?
Let's go.
All right. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Go Keegan Bradley. Let the stash bring it home for us all. We'll see you guys next week.